going down on someone in the morning is one of my favorite things in the world to do. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why the sneak attack in the morning, like pre-coffee, is one of my favorite things, but
morning sex is the best sex.
It is.
It's not the best sex.
I think so.
I like it.
I mean, I like it.
I think girls like it.
I think girls like it more than guys do.
I don't know why though. Don't you always wake up with a hard on?
Yeah, but that's a different kind of hard on.
And then they
have
have to be like, I have to pee. Let me go to the bathroom first, and then this is not the same.
It's the best. So it's great if you like wake up early, go pee, go back to sleep for like 30 minutes, then wake up with another hard on, and then you use that hard on to
That's the move.
fuck with. That's the move.
That's the move.
There's a couple moves like that.
Men are so weird. So like explain different hard-ons to me. How many are there?
Oh, I don't.
Okay, so pee hard-ons. So like your dick is just full of pee.
Well, no. So
Can't
the
have
reason you have a
sex.
hard on in the morning. I mean, you have to pee because you've been asleep for however long.
Yeah.
But your hormones fluctuate, so your testosterone hits a peak before
So
morning.
you can have a hard-on and not be turned on.
I mean, yeah, it's like it takes 12 seconds to turn a guy on. Like it's
I would like to test that.
Really.
Not now. I don't really know. I mean, 12 seconds. That's like
That's not-
exact
that's not-
number.
like,
have you
that's not-
timed this?
I have
was
not,
like,
no,
have you
I've-
counted? I feel like it could be less.
I think it takes
Honestly,
less than that. Actually, I
feel
don't
like
think. I
it
think
could be
12 seconds is
less.
long. It's like that's like. I mean, I don't know if you have to actually try.
I think
I don't know,
when you
I'm
try
pretty-
It depends
too
on what you're
hard, it doesn't
doing.
work.
Like if you're like making out for 12 seconds, or you're just like rubbing it on for 12 seconds, or you just like say something.
If you're rubbing it for
sexy.
12 seconds,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it
like
gets some
it just
friction going.
depends.
Oh, I
yeah.
think if you get like
little over the pants.
I think
handy.
if you get like actual touch, like
Over
you'll
the pants
get
handies
within.
are underrated for sure.
I think if a guy gets like fondled by a girl and like doesn't get turned on in less than 12 seconds, like
It may take more
like
than
if a
12
girl-
seconds for the blood to fill your cock for sure.
Okay.
But at the same time,
But,
like, you're
like,
turned
the-
on before. You can be
the
turned on and
initial-
not hard. You can be hard and not turned on.
Mm.
I mean, Viagra does that.
I guess it's different for girls. We don't really have something to show it.
Oh, there's
Like something
studies.
that
It's really
grows.
hard. It's like genuinely hard for girls. Like you have to have an emotional connection before.
You have to be mentally there.
We go 0 to 100.
Yeah, it's awesome though when you can figure it out.
That's
It's
true.
like it's a puzzle that it's always fun to solve. Everybody's so different though too. Like your conditioning towards what sex is and sexuality and what things should be and what things should sound like and feel like. It's funny, man, because I didn't really watch porn a lot. I still don't watch porn a lot, and so my like sexual experiences are so different with different people just based on like what their earliest ideas of sex is and was. Right. So it's like, especially when it comes to blowjobs. I talked about this today. I was like, a girl, like it's a completely different experience. Like it's like a fingerprint. Like
I think blowjobs are a superpower though.
I agree.
100%.
Girls that
And I think
Agreed.
there's a lot of girls out there that don't want to suck dick that are not going to
Well,
get
eating
wiped
pussy is a
up.
superpower too, though.
Girls
I
that don't
agree.
suck dick are not going to get wiped
girls
up.
that don't give blowjobs are not going to be in a good relationship. Like you have to give a blowjob.
You absolutely do. Also, I saw this meme. It was funny how you do that. It's like this girl and she's like complaining about like where all the good guys are, and the meme's like, well, the good guys are at home getting their dick sucked right before dinner. Like, what are you
Absolutely.
doing?
Yeah. What,
It fixes everything. It's just
Yeah,
you have to.
like who doesn't want to get licked?
I know, right? It's like it's fun. The things you can do with your mouth. It's just like we're so funneled in and selling ourselves short.
And like I feel like
Oral
girls
pleasures.
like that don't want to give blowjobs and then they're forced. They're just like not good at it, and the guys just doesn't enjoy it. And
I
like
think that if you force a girl to give you a blowjob, that is not consensual.
Seems rapey.
it seems rapey. It is.
Rapey.
It's rapey.
Me too.
I think that's definitely not legal.
Oh my god.
No, it's like a bad blowjob is literally the worst thing ever.
I've heard stories from my guy friends, and I'm just like, what? What is she doing?
How is she even doing that?
What is she like? do
But
you
guys
watch
are
movies?
guys. First off, I haven't noticed that said this on the podcast, but I think giving head should be a unisex term. Maybe not. I don't know, but some people will say it.
I think it's masculine.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah.
It makes sense in like what it is. But I think somebody said that around me for so long that I was like, that kind of makes sense on going both ways.
I've always heard giving head in like high school. That's such a like throwback term.
Really, you're not around much people like using that now.
No,
I feel like I hear it all the time.
I don't.
Damn.
Definitely BJ or just blowjob.
People call them BJs.
BJ Steakhouse.
BJ.
But anyways, I've heard horror stories from my girlfriends about guys that don't know how to go down on girls. So, I mean, I don't know much about that, but like, is that, I don't know. Like, how do you not invest some time into that? It seems like something you want to learn how to do. It's a worthwhile investment of your time.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but sometimes you're just like, okay, let's just have sex. Like, just move on. You just like kind of end it.
How do you end that? How do you transition from?
You just kind of like grab their head. You're like, okay. You just kind of like push them off. 'Cause you're just like thinking. You're just like, like it's just not enjoyable sometimes. I haven't had that experience in a while, but like back in the day.
Back in the day.
Everybody's gotten better at things now.
I know you have to be.
You have to.
Dating apps helped. A lot more exposure to each other.
I'm not for dating apps at all.
They're kind of exhausting.
They're exhausting.
There's
too many conversations.
I can imagine they are for you.
I like had a long streak of like 6 months that I was like on dating apps, and I was going on dates like twice a week with like different people. And
oh my God, I just like do not have patience for that at all.
it was just exhausting.
I just do it for the content. And then I quit doing that.
I was just trying to test all the restaurants in town. There were so many. I was like, oh, let's try this place. And I was
just on Yelp, just like
I just had a full wall up. I was like, I'm not gonna date you. And I would tell them, I'm like, hey, like I don't want to date. Like I'm just very open right now. And
yeah. So I would like use it as a challenge when I was on Bumble and actually did it. I have the app, but I just can't bear to use it that often anymore. But when I was on it and actually using it a couple times a week, I would just see what kind of ridiculous conversations I could have in an hour with somebody. Like I would talk about open relationships and all, like my thoughts on monogamy and all these things with someone that I'd literally just met, and just to see how they would receive it. And now I have a podcast. So
I had a really funny.
You would go on dates and then like talk about like their thoughts on marriage.
Yeah, a lot of times, but people are super receptive to that if you can like create a transparent space. Because most like first encounters with somebody are so canned that when somebody comes into that and you have to be relatively empathetic too, because you don't want to make somebody uncomfortable.
Like,
but
explain the question, because to me that's not weird.
That's not weird, no. But usually goes from like exactly how this conversation went. We talk about dating apps, talk about how many people you're exposed to all the time, and how it makes monogamy really challenging, and what your thoughts are on that. And then we talk about, and then you go down the rabbit hole from there. Like this book said this, and evolutionary psychology says this, and I feel like this, and this is my experience. Here's the patterns in my life that have been kind of challenging, and then people share that. And
you would drop all of that on a first date?
Yeah. But it would be in response to them. It wasn't just me like going on a rant.
Right.
It was in response to questions or in response to something that they had shared. But people will share a lot because it's refreshing to be like, oh, I can kind of just be myself. Actually. That's
it's kind of
cool.
like therapeutic. Like I would just go on dates and just like have no filter and be like, hey, this is me. If you don't like it, then too bad.
You have to filter people out though, because you don't. I'm going to be exposed to 17 million people in my life that I could possibly date, and it's a fucking lot. So I got to cut through a lot of that noise by just being
myself,
authentic.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing.
Yeah,
I was just very open, like just telling them my situation, who I am. Like I would cuss. I would be like, hey, like I wear yoga pants all the time. I like to watch sports. Like I was just very open with them. I'm like, I don't want to date. Like I'm just in this period of my life, and we can just hang out, have a good night, and then. Maybe hang out again.
Okay, so you were on dating apps, and then on the dates, you would say, "Hey, I don't want to date."
Yeah,
I'm so confused.
Well, you were just like,
why
you were going
on the dating.
Okay,
apps?
so like dating, like as in like meeting people, but I wasn't like trying to get in a serious relationship. Like if I were to see them again, I'd be like, "Hey, like I'm kind of have a wall up right now, and I don't want to be in a relationship with anybody. I'm just kind of like getting back out there and like dating again."
Oh,
because I was engaged and like with somebody for.
I do not date.
Yeah, it's exhausting. You're just like telling your story. You're basically like selling yourself to people, to somebody else.
I'm just like not about that.
Yeah, it's a lot. So you were engaged. Mm-hmm. So how long were you guys together for?
We were together for 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and then we were engaged for a year.
Okay, so like 3 years total.
Yeah.
Okay, and you went from that and then back into the dating world again.
Yeah, and before him, I was with somebody for 3 years. So you've
been wiped out for a minute.
So I went from 1 3-year relationship to like another relationship that I was about to marry somebody.
Yeah.
And then I was single for 1.5 years. And now I'm dating somebody.
Back in the dating
game.
Or
but it took me a long time to get here.
Yeah, I think 1.5 years is a good amount of time to be single. I feel like I had 2 back-to-back 1.5 year long relationships. And the funny thing is, with 2 people that could not be more different. Oh, yeah. It was like the polar opposites of each other. and then this like 6-month period in between.
That's not enough time.
No, it wasn't enough time. I mean, but yeah, it's because then you're not even comfortable with being alone again.
That's true.
It's like
and
you're
that
not
was
even
hard.
and that's the hardest fucking part is coming out of one, and now it's like, all right, back into it again. It's like, man, that was my normal. Like my normal was like a lot of intimacy and conversations and shared meals and whatever, you know.
Sitting on the couch with somebody, cooking dinner, like running errands together, and like you just like go to like being by yourself every day and like going to bed alone, and you're just like, what? How long is this gonna last? Like, am I gonna find somebody? And
there's no morning blowjobs.
Yeah, no like sex on the reg.
I know, dude, and that's weird because my fucking sex drive didn't change.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, now I'm just horny as fuck all the time,
Right?
cruising around. I don't want to slut it up. And then,
No.
oh god, it's terrible. Actually, I committed to like not getting off for 30 days. I was like, I'm gonna challenge myself. I made it almost 3 weeks.
Like Josh Hartnett.
Yeah,
in
like
that
40
movie?
days and 40 nights. Yeah. But that was crazy. So now it's funny because I realized that like getting off habitually like that was kind of desensitized everything. Like, just a whole experience.
You didn't like masturbate or anything, like
no
nothing.
for 2.5 weeks. Yeah, it was cool. And then I got but then whatever. So I got in a situation where I was compromised based on circumstances, and I would do the same thing again. It was a good decision. But that showed me a lot. So now it's like whenever I want to get focused on things like this week, I'm not going to get off all week.
Interesting.
I'm not gonna have sex. I'm not gonna neural one out. Like just not. And dude, it's funny because you'll stay way more driven. There's something that's to be said about the amount of energy. Like evolutionarily, you think about that. Like if you're not getting laid, you will be more motivated. If you're not getting off, you're gonna be more motivated. Especially if you're not watching porn. And if you only do it like once a week, if you commit to only getting off once a week, as a guy, especially as a single guy, you will definitely meet more people. You'll put out a different energy. Like but it's not.
I've never heard this before.
Oh, this is super common. Yeah,
All
like
my
Mark
friends are
Manson talks about this.
perverts though, so that's probably why.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. But even then it's even more challenging. Then then you also have to like things will come up. Like you'll start to kind of feel yourself a little differently. It's fun.
How often do guys like do that?
I would think daily. Most people.
Like just normally.
Yeah.
Like 3 times a day, so like a meal.
I don't know. I think that's what you do in your, like
Like a midday snack.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
No, it's a good question. I was like a 1 time a dayer for sure, but it's not. Yeah. But, I mean, there was times whenever we were young, like when you're like in 7th grade, 8th grade, and you're like, but that's a whole different. You're just trying to get acquainted with yourself.
Well, I mean that's puberty, so.
Yeah. You got like surprise boners in class, which is the worst.
Surprise boners?
Yeah, surprise boners are the worst.
I've heard that.
And you're wearing basketball shorts because you're in like junior high, and you're like, you got to do something. You got to figure out because like your dick will go in a different. It has like it's like a part in your hair. Like it'll go in. It's gonna find. It's like it has a direction that it goes right. So you just got to find that wherever that is and like find a pocket somewhere. Like I was always up. I was like the band or whatever elastic band on my pants.
It's so funny. My ex, and like I went to get him, like he had to get a suit tailored for a wedding, and like one of the measurements is like which way do you dress, and it's like which way does your dick go in your pants, and that's like a measurement
they
take when you like get tailored. Like I had no idea that was like a thing.
Yeah, if you want a good fit.
Yeah.
You're trying to get tight on those thighs.
Yeah, he's like, which way do you dress? And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's important.
But back to the masturbating thing. I have a girlfriend that masturbates twice a day. She masturbates in the morning and before bed, like every day. I'm like, how do you have time for that? Like that just seems like a lot.
It just doesn't take her that long.
That's a lot for a female.
Right? Every day. She's a very sexual person.
Yeah.
I used to like sleep.
That's why.
I would sleep over and like she would just moan in her sleep, like her dreams. And I'm like, Abby, you're like literally moaning in the middle of the night. She's like, what? She was a very sexual person.
Oh, she have a wet dream?
Every night, I guess.
That'd be a lot. That'd be a lot. Sex dreams are the shit, though.
They are. I had one this year.
Did you?
It was lit.
Get the mic close to your face before you go on this story, and you can feel free to laugh into it. Katie's a podcast rookie.
I don't know why.
All right. Anyways,
no,
yeah, this is why this is why Katie's on the podcast. Everybody.
It was in 2017.
And you had a sex dream?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Man, I don't know. It was just lit. It was a wet dream. You know, like how J. Cole.
Oh, I know about J. Cole, dude.
That was
fun
that
fact.
was
We
like
talked about
my
that.
whole experience except girl version. And now I know exactly what I'm going to do at my wedding. I'm dead serious. I'm going to it's going to be this. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. We don't know. But we're going to do this very sexual dance to freaking Motivation by, who says that? Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With a Lil Wayne reverse.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's a throwback.
Just
That's a good
super
jam.
sex. Super sex. Like
Super sick.
Was it with somebody that you knew?
Yeah. Right on. It wasn't me, was it?
Nope.
What about when you have sex dreams, but it's like your boyfriend or your significant other like cheating on you, or like they're like having
Those are the worst.
and you just wake up so mad.
And you can't get unpissed. It's like I know that was a dream, but it's like I've had that happen and you wake up next to that person and I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
So mad. I've never woken up so mad in my life.
Yeah, that happened recently. You seem like pretty fired up about it.
No, but thank God. But I feel like it was like a foreshadowing of my past relationship. Like I would always have like bad sex dreams with like my ex. Like he was just like sleeping with other people, or, like doing other things. And
Were you like watching it? Or was it the aftermath?
no, like it was in my dreams.
No, in the dream were you watching them have sex?
I guess I don't remember, or I don't remember what it was, but I just remember like having multiple of them, and I would just wake up so mad. I'd be like, I had a dream that you were making out with this person, like hooking up with them, and
Yeah.
I guess I would see
Yeah,
them or
my
like
exes, we had
catch them.
that would happen often. But it's like, I think, so what happens there, and this is, I've read about this a little bit, is that a lot of times dreams are preparation for what you, like your fears. So if you're if you have a fear of that, like your dreams will be, if you think about that too, it's like if you have a perpetual fear, you're going into you're going to be flying somewhere. Like if you have an underlying fear of a plane crash, like your dreams are like preparation. So they're trying to get your body prepared for something that could possibly happen. So if you have any kind of like feeling there, any kind of intuition, and also dreams are very like, they're subconscious too. So there's kind of some kind of intuition as to what's going on. Like you'll tap into that. And one thing people don't think about too is like the energetic connection. And this is kind of woo woo, but between people that are sleeping next to each other a lot. There's a lot that can happen there. So they may not say it, but that he might have had the same dream. It wouldn't be like, yeah, I was dreaming about fucking that girl too.
Oh, like he was having the dream with the girl.
You can like that may be on his mind, that may be in his thought process, and
Weird.
you can like kind of tap into that sometimes, especially in yeah.
Yeah, it definitely happened a lot. Like after we like moved in together and were engaged. Not as much when we were doing long distance, but it would just happen. I just wake up so pissed.
Yeah, it's the worst. Yeah.
I had a dream. This was also, we had a lot of dreams about these sexual experiences, except this one wasn't so great because he was a chocolate man and then he turned into a white guy. And I like legit was pissed when I woke up the next morning because I was genuinely scared. Like I would just had a dream that we were doing it, right? And then he like sat up and it was like a completely different person.
So he like shapeshifted into a black guy
Oh no.
and then turned.
I love the chocolate man.
I know.
But he turned into a white guy in my dream. So like he changed.
You know, is that what I'm saying? Was he like a really like attractive black guy that turned into like some dorky white guy, or was it like just a white version of the same person?
Ooh.
This is important.
That is
Or
a
a completely different person.
Was it like Avatar?
It was
Or was
it was like a completely different person.
That's weird.
That is
Yeah.
weird.
I wonder what that means.
Maybe it's
Everybody out there knows what that means.
I mean,
Yeah.
Hit us up on Twitter.
I mean, I don't know. But I was like genuinely scared. It wasn't like maybe it wasn't pissed. It was like genuinely scared because like in the dream, you're right. Your dreams, I don't know. My dreams are like super real. I don't have
mine
them
are
a
very
lot,
vivid.
but when I do have them, they're super real. So it was a completely different person. It wasn't like the same person.
Yeah,
But it was weird
that is weird.
because it was just like I was like, oh, get me out of here, and then my dream ended because I was like, I don't want to
just
be
woke
here.
up.
You know what's worse than when that happening in a dream is when you're having that in real life. Like, get me the fuck out of this.
You just wake up and you roll over. You're like,
I haven't had that happen
Yeah,
to me.
that's the worst ever.
Nope.
Man, you're missing out. You need to have that experience. It's good. It's like getting your ass kicked. You know, it's like it needs to happen so you don't
Wait,
you
like
don't want it to happen
waking up
again.
next to somebody that I have no idea who they are?
No, you should know who they are, but it's like that you're not really stoked on waking up next to.
Yeah, that's never happened.
the worst is like when they don't leave and they're just like laying there and you're like, yeah, I got things to do. Like, oh yeah, I'm not doing anything today. I'm like, yeah, well,
I am.
you should go. Like, are you kicking me out? Like, yeah.
I don't know.
like,
I just
get
have
those
no
cues.
desire.
I feel like you should.
People
have
aren't
those
necessarily,
cues.
as a standard, like very socially aware. That's like one of the biggest problems with dating, anyways. Now is that
Yeah.
there's like such a lack of social awareness, and then we do so much of our communication on a fucking phone, via text message and emojis,
You don't
fire
know how
emojis.
to talk to somebody in real life. You're like, oh, I have to like speak to you and say words.
Well, dude, that was one thing that really recently, and I talked about this on a couple podcasts ago, was that I realized that people weren't introducing themselves to other people in real life. So I was going to be somebody who did that. I was like, I'm going to do that whenever I like feel a connection with somebody. Like I usually Whole Foods is the example because that's where bougie white girls go, and that's my
watering
demographic.
hole.
Yeah, it's my watering hole exactly, and Native. Shout out Native Hostel. And but no, it's like I'll just go say what's up. Like it's not in a non-threatening way, but and it's fun. It's way more fun than swiping on somebody. Like actually meeting someone in real life, and it hones some communication skills, which are fucking important.
A lot of my guy friends have that problem. Like, a guy friend of mine just called me before I got here for like some like dating advice, and it's just like my guy friends are just like, I don't know how to talk to girls. I'm like, just go talk to them. And they're like, I'm just so good like once I get introduced to them, but I don't know how to like go up to them. Like,
breaking the ice is super difficult.
yeah, but like some guys are just creepy about it. They like come stand next to you and like stare at you. Like you gotta like make like that's what I used to do. I used to like sit at the bar and like go stand next to a cute guy and like start conversation with him. Like
that's so common, and guys don't understand that. Like if that girl if she fucking came over from where she was at and stood next to you at the bar,
it's for a reason.
Even if it's crowded, like even if it was an accident, which is probably not, you can still say what's up.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to say like, hi, my name's Mike and I went to USC. Like you just fucking say like, hey.
I
like,
know a
literally.
Mike that went to USC.
Oh well, serendipitous.
I feel like it's
no,
hard
but say
though.
hi. It's fucking. It's not. It is
No,
hard
okay,
because
so,
you don't know how to. No one knows how to do it. But you're also there's a risk that you may get. It's like this risk of embarrassment, which is really.
They're so scared of rejection.
Yeah, it's like it's fine, dude.
Yeah,
If you
but
get
like
rejection,
girls
that's
are
more
also
context.
scared of rejection too.
No shit.
And so, but there's also this like weird balance that I don't know, girls, the gender roles, you know, that we're supposed to play. Like guys are supposed to make the first move, but then we have all these guys that are just like, fuck that. Girls should make the 1st move, right? And then like when we do, it's like, oh, she's chasing me, and then like they don't
She's
like
thirsty.
you. Oh, so thirsty.
true.
But it's like, why is that? Like why when like the girl like goes after the guy, they pull away, and then it's like we have to wait to be pursued and all this bullshit, that like all these like rules, right? When maybe like there isn't any rules, right? Because when there's chemistry, it just works.
Exactly.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like the people. I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird. No, we were talking about this the other day because all the stuff that happened. What happened with Aziz Ansari, right? Like he.
I don't know what this is.
Have you guys heard about
I
this?
just saw that it's like some women like stepped up and said that he like
Yeah, it was
sexually
really.
harassed them.
Okay, so
but
you
I haven't read
guys,
into it.
I think this is really relevant for this episode because that's one thing about it's weird now because it's like, oh well, guys come on too strong, and it's like, but then if you're not assertive, you're a pussy, and that doesn't get you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same thing with girls. It's like, well, if she comes on too strong, then she's a slut, and then she's like doesn't, then she's shy.
Or she's
It's
too
like,
aggressive.
Yeah, she's too aggressive. Where it's like, you got to just be able to understand like kind of what you're bringing to the situation, and be pretty confident in that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no problem in a girl like breaking the ice. I don't think that's an issue and saying hi. But it's like it's the way you do it, you
Right.
know.
Like I
There was a girl the other night at the bar that I was at, and she was thirsty as fuck. And I was like, "Get this person the fuck away from me." Well, she wasn't even unattractive. I was just like, "Please stop." And then she went to the next bar, is like, found a guy, is like, "You'll do," and went home with him. And I was like, "Wow, I'm glad I wanted to run away from her. It like grossed me out so bad."
You were talking. I think it was a few episodes ago that you guys were talking about that. Like you can like feel the vibe from girls. Like I have so many girlfriends. They're like, I just want a boyfriend. I just want a boyfriend. I'm like, you're never gonna find a boyfriend. If that's your
Neediness
mentality.
is never sexy.
Okay, so
No.
like that's another thing too. Is that like I just feel like the chemistry though. Like if the person is like putting off like a vibe that you're picking up, like I'm picking up what you're putting down. There is no question. There's never a question. It's like you have to find that authentic connection
But guys,
to people.
the
Then
thing about
it's just
guys
like
is that they
weird.
don't.
It's so weird though. I have this problem. I'm friends with like all these guys. I have more guy friends than I have girlfriends. And like shit always happens to me is like they think I like them. I give my phone number out to people, and I give my phone number out to people like even if you're a dude, like I'll give you my phone number if you ask for it. But it's not because Katie wants to date you, you know? Or it's like I have all the guys that ask, can I have your Snapchat? Can I have your Snapchat? And I'm like, I'm such a savage. I let them take a picture of my Snapchat and I don't add them back. So if you listen to this and I didn't add you back, now you know.
Now you know.
But it's like, that's what irks me, I think, is that like instead of like trying to get to know me in the present moment, it's like, well, can I have your Snapchat? And then they walk away.
They want that immediate contact.
Or
so they
like,
hit
can I
you up
have your
later.
phone number? And then they walk away. And I'm just like, bitch, I'm right here.
It's like have a good
Yeah.
conversation and then maybe
Or,
ask
like,
me for my number.
Try to get to know me.
Yeah.
Or like, why are you so scared?
How many other girls' numbers have you gotten tonight?
But then you're just
I don't even like
piling
think
up
about
numbers.
that.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like I think it's just like it's so hard. But I also feel like I don't know, our generation is weird. Like everybody wants to be in a relationship, or like you like to think that you want to be in a relationship, but we're all very like I feel like our generation is very focused on like self-development and like goal crushing and like
Yeah.
we're starting a business, or like we're trying to get money, we're trying to secure the bag, and then like if you're not helping me, like you're in the way, and then like you know what I mean? So
I
like
agree.
the mindset,
Yeah,
the
100%.
mindset's not there, but like the want for like intimacy and relationships is also there, but it's blocking it because like in a way like we're very self-centered. So like when do you have room for?
Well, that's the thing you're saying is like,
There
What-
is no room.
yeah, you want all the
So
things
it's
all the
not
time.
so it's not authentic connection like at all.
You just gotta find that person that balances you out, that like gives you your space, but also gives you like the attention that you need, but also space when you need it.
How important is space though as a girl? Like, what does that even mean? Because that's people say that, and that's one thing I want to be really clear with on this episode is since we have you guys here and y'all are like normal people, right? You aren't, it's you are babes, but that's definitely normal people, and it's like it's important to understand like guys aren't really good at picking up vibes. Right,
They're not.
Some
don't
of them
think that
are.
they are at
Some
all.
of them
At all.
are, like, but those are outliers, right? So you're saying that it's like people don't really. It's confusing. It's like I don't know. She,
Oh, it's
like,
really
she looked at me, so
confusing.
she obviously wants my dick in her mouth. Like, no, that's not necessarily the case,
It's
right?
so confusing.
It is confusing, but girls don't get that. Like, and girls leverage that a lot of times and can manipulate that to get what they want, which is also super common. And you see that all the time. I sit there and watch that happen sometimes, and I'm like, wow. That is almost painful to watch, but you do you, girl, get it. But it's like it's interesting to see and it's interesting to like notice. But what is the same thing? Guys aren't really good with the space things. It's like, well, she wants me to pursue her, and everybody wants to feel wanted, but you don't want to feel like smothered or like trapped.
So I don't think the question is like what does space mean? I think if anything that I've learned like in the last like year and a half is that it comes down to communication and asking for what you want and like being okay with the answer being no.
Yeah.
And I work in extremes. I have this weird permanence mindset always. Like if I make a decision, like, oh my God, life or death. Or like I said, I'm like a 6th grader with a crush. Like when I like somebody, I only like them and I like really, really like them. But I also like it comes from a genuine place. Like I'm super loyal. Like I want to be your friend forever. Like you're so cute, la la. It just like it ends right there, right? But if you don't tell somebody that, they're never going to know. And you have to be okay with like literally a dude like running away from you. And I think like that's the issue is that we like make all these Instagram posts. I'm going to put my Instagram story. And if he watches my Instagram story, then he likes me.
Yep.
Or like fire emoji. We're getting somewhere. Like we've reached level 2
that so
of affection, which is not true. And it's also like, guys are like, sure, they're gonna like, how many girls are they gonna like on Instagram? Everyone. But it's like, when you don't ask for what you want, you're not gonna get it. And you just have to keep trying. And you just have to keep like saying what you want and like staying true to that. And
So,
I mean,
but
like,
how do you get clear on what you want?
you like have to tell somebody that you like them. That's what I do. I go 0 to 100. Like I straight up like I like you.
Yeah.
I don't like your friends. I like you. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go on a date. I think we should hang out.
Yeah.
And it's either you get heard or you don't get heard.
Well, there's a certain type of guy, and that's the thing too. When you put yourself out there like that, and that's what I was trying to get to. When you put yourself out there like that, the rejection from that is just doing you a fucking favor.
Exactly.
You're
Exactly, because you're
sorting
not
people
going to
out.
waste your
Exactly.
time anymore, but that's what people do.
And what's really weird about this, and I'm gonna bring this back into fucking personal development rhetoric because it's what I do, is that we end up in relationships and every other type of connection we have, like creating our identity out from outside of us and what people think about us, right? Which is so defeating because then you end up just chasing approval. So you have to be able to understand that about yourself and be able to put that out there in a way and be completely okay with getting hurt, because it does hurt when someone walks away from you, regardless of how confident you are in yourself.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because you have like, you put them up on a pedestal, right? Because
Exactly.
you like them, and you like. In my case, like I go, I don't know, people inspire me, right? But I like have like a fond like affection for people, and I put people on a pedestal. I look
Yeah.
up to them. I'm like, but at the same time, like when they don't like you the same way back, you question your self-worth automatically. Like even if you don't admit it, because you're just like, oh my God, they don't like me.
But sometimes they
What's
don't
wrong with
know.
me?
Like maybe you have to tell them that you like them, and then they back off, and they don't realize like, wow, maybe I do care about this person. Like they kind of push you away, and then they have their time and they think about that person. They're like, oh, like I'm sorry I pushed you away. Maybe I just realized I liked you too much, and then they come back. That's what happened in my relationship.
Just like, no.
That's what happened in my relationship now.
Just
I told him, I was like, hey, what's going on with us? Like, I like you. I've stopped talking to the people, and like he like sort of ended things with me. And like a few weeks later, we like got back together. He's like, I'm sorry. Like, I just didn't know what I want. I started this new job. Like, but I want to be with you, and I was just scared.
Yeah, you just need a minute sometimes too.
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
just kind of need to
this
realize,
is a lot. Like, because you think about it, especially as a guy, it's like generally speaking, like the masculine is very planner, right? So it's like, well, shit, okay, if I commit to this, that means like you're thinking about like you're 5 steps ahead because that's a very like masculine thing to do, which is important and attractive, I would think sometimes, but also it can get in your own way where you're not very present with what's going on. But then you gotta go like understand what your feelings are and where your feelings are at.
Yeah, and I think guys are just scared of their feelings. Guys don't like to be open about their feelings and how they feel, and like you said, they want to be masculine, and they don't want to like be open about how they feel about you because they're scared. Guys get scared easily.
But have you ever had a guy like come or share his feelings with you that were in a way that was kind of unattractive?
Yes.
And like that somebody you were attracted to share that in a way that was kind of like soft and then lose attraction there because of something like that?
Not share, but like that constant like wanted to hang out with me. Like I like was into a guy, and then he was just like always wanted to hang out with me, and I'm just like, I saw you yesterday, like I'm not gonna see you again tomorrow. Like that's just too much.
It's needy.
Yeah, it's needy.
Neediness is not sexy.
And like making plans for me, like for like the next week, I'm just like
sexy.
I'm like, I just saw
But
you.
men want to be needed.
Guys are so needy.
Human beings want to be needed.
Guys are so needy.
Yeah, so
It's
like
different flavors.
So like different flavors of neediness.
Well, that's the thing with the guys too, because it's like there's a lot of validation in being needed and being. Yeah, it's like I think that's the thing. If you think about it, if I was really
game, it's sticky and it's dirty and it doesn't make sense. And literally, like people, like you have to find the right person.
Well, you have to know, but you also have to know what you were saying earlier about being assertive, right? Like I know that, and this is just my.
You just have to like ask for what you want.
Yeah, but a lot of guys don't like that. They'd be like, but
of course they don't.
I fucking love that shit because I like assertive, strong women. That's
exactly
that's my shit. I like that because it balances me out and lets me be more playful. And that's I've been with enough people for extended like a little bit of time, been like, okay, I like this.
To know
about
that
that
that's
person.
what you want.
Yeah, to know that I'm like, yeah, that's like, and that's emotionally, sexually, like as far as when it comes to work and ambition and being able to fuel off each other. Like I just know I balance that. It balances me out. I also need somebody who's kind of grounded. Like these are all qualities, and that can take a lot of different forms and shapes. But if someone is
you just have to
assertive,
stay,
it's really
like,
sexy to me.
And you just have to like stay true to who you are because someone's gonna feel it.
Yeah. Inauthenticity. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because someone's gonna feel it.
Yeah,
you
can
just
feel
have
that.
to like keep doing you.
And like the fact that you know what you want, like a lot of people don't know what they want. Like they think they want something, and then they find that in a person, and then they're like, oh, this person sucks. Like I thought I wanted that in a person.
Yeah.
But like the fact that you know what you want and what you look at a person and a partner and somebody you want to spend time with, like that's important. And a lot of people don't know that.
Well, that's one thing people don't do is go out. They make the decision on what they want based upon high school or some shit, and then they never get outside of that. Like I had one of my clients, we were meeting the other day. He's recently out of like a 3-year relationship, and he was in town visiting, and we talked about just being open to experiences because you can open yourself up and find out what kind of like shame and fear triggers are limiting your experience, right? Whether that be like slut shaming or, guy or girl slut shaming, right? Or feeling in that way, or just maybe the shame around wasting time doing something that's not necessarily productive, right? These are all different things, but if you can go and experience something different than what you're used to, you might find things that you didn't even know you liked. Right. And that's sometimes when you spend so much time and so much energy chasing the things that you think you want or know that you want, you'll never find the things that you didn't know you liked or didn't know you wanted. And those can be way better, but you have to be open to experience. And that's the same thing with dating. Like going on a date with somebody that you feel kind of connected to, but doesn't really fit your fucking criteria. Like maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And even if nothing else, you'll get an experience out of it and learn something.
Yeah. No, I agree. My boyfriend now is like not really my type. Like he's grown to be my type. Yeah. But like at first I was like, I don't know where this is going to go. And like, it's like very different, but I'm like so happy with it.
If you would have had to make that decision on paper, it would have been a way different situation.
Yeah, exactly. And like everybody has that checklist, and like not everybody checks all the boxes, but you want somebody with all the boxes, but that person like doesn't exist, and you wouldn't want that person.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that. No. That person is like, yeah, God, it's
you just
funny.
Wouldn't. That's just boring. You're like, oh, you're just like so predictable. Like you just want somebody to keep you on your toes, and like throw you off your game. And
challenge is super sexy too.
I love that. I love that. You're like, wait, where did that come from?
Where'd that come from? Yeah, it's different. And learning from each other is really fun too. There's so many fun things, but that's my own values and my own projections. But it really comes down to understanding yourself. But you got to go out and fucking experience the things. And it's like the shadow of like modern dating, right? Go back to dating apps. Like you're going to be exposed to a ton of people, and they're all over the place. Instagram is essentially a dating app now. If you know what you're doing, and
DMs,
sliding in those DMs,
sliding in the DMs, fire emojis all day.
Fire emoji.
Long. Got that fire emoji on lock, son. Anyway, but you're going to be exposed to tons of people, even if it's just images and captions. It's tons of people. So you're gonna get fucking skewed. I know that our friends over at the Post Grad Problems guys were talking about how they deleted all their Instagram models off their Instagram.
But I think Instagram's really hard though, like, right? Because we're highlighting our best selves.
Yeah, but people don't.
Yeah, but when
that.
you're
It's like
highlighting your
porn.
best self every day, like we don't need to see a selfie. Like, what do guys think? Like when you see a girl with just like a bunch of selfies on their Instagram?
Dude, I used to get in. Instagram was a common topic of conversation in my last relationship, and it was like, well, you don't like Botox and lip filler, but that girl has Botox. I'm like, that's not a real person to me.
Yeah,
that's a fucking square on a screen. Like that, I'm not. If I knew her, it would be. If I was dating her, it would be a different conversation, which I probably wouldn't because she probably sucks. Like homegirl can't even put a full caption down there. It's just like emojis and shit, But it's like, and I don't follow that many people that are like that. But it's funny when you like this constant comparison about this thing that is this form of like social validation that everybody can then use to compare their real life to or their partner to, even if it's subconscious. It's fucking toxic as shit.
And just like pretend like
I think it's deep within the subconscious for sure.
Yeah, of course. We haven't evolved to handle that shit.
No.
But we also love it. Like I love social media.
I love it.
I
mean, it's my job.
Social media.
Yeah.
I'm constantly I have my phone and then I have a work phone. Like I'm just always plugged in, and it's so hard for me. Like
I've got access to
Love
3
it.
Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
I'm on them constantly.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but it's my job and it's life, and it's like part of it.
I mean, you have to have a healthy relationship with it. But to go back to that, it's like now it's more important than ever to understand what you really value, what you really stand for, what you want in a partner, and what you bring to a partnership. Because you have time now, because a lot of people don't get married at 22 anymore. No. And that's also really uncommon. So it's going to, like we said, sort out a bunch of the people that you don't want to spend your time with. And then you have that growth mindset going into it. You can really change and grow. And then if you're in a relationship, and this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about too, is when you get into a new relationship, like it's almost like social media becomes a really like a source of fucking nonsense. Like the amount of arguments I've gotten into over Instagram pisses me off. I get mad at myself now that I'm like, wow, dude, like I invested real lifetime into something that doesn't actually exist. Mm-hmm. It's so strange. And I don't think that matters as much for me. Like it's more on my end, it's like an engagement piece, but I feel like on a girl's end, it's way different. Like there's a lot of thought that has to go into that in a relationship.
Like for me, with my job, like I'm so used to like seeing girls like on Instagram and like following girls. Like I follow like way too many girls on Instagram, and like if I see my boyfriend like liking a picture, I'm like, okay, like he's never gonna like hook up with her, like whatever, he can like see her. And I'm open with him. I'm like, oh look, that girl's hot. But like I think it's when he likes like a picture of like maybe an ex-girlfriend or somebody that he used to hook up with, or like he still follows that person. I think that bothers me more than like him following like Instagram models. It's like, why are you still liking your ex-girlfriend's photos? Like, why are you still following her? I think that bothers me more than like all those fake Instagram girls, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. There was.
Dude, I don't know. I've not been in that situation like whatsoever. Like I said,
no.
Oh my god, no. Okay, because when I had my 8th grade boyfriend, we didn't have social media.
Yeah.
I give a fuck.
But it's funny. So when you're going into like posting on social media as the girlfriend, like what thought goes into that?
Yeah.
I've always been curious about this because there's a part of it is like you want to put yourself out there, which I don't put myself out there as being like sexy. That's not really my objective, but I think that's always a fun thing to be. And I get it. It's a weird form of expression. It's like so tricky.
I remember the first time I posted like a picture of just myself, like after like I was always posting pictures of like my friends or like with my ex, and like I remember like after like I was single for a few months, I like posted a picture of just myself. I'm like, this feels weird. Like I'm just like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like I'm just like so self-centered right now, posting photos of myself. But it felt good. Like it felt comfortable. Like I was like, this is my life. Like I was like, I forgot where I was. But then like now I just post pictures of myself sometimes because like
I do it a lot now, and it felt really weird the first time.
It felt super weird because I'm just so used to posting pictures of my friends. But now like there's like a level of respect, and like there's so many creepers on Instagram. And, like I have to like delete comments all the time because guys are just so weird.
I
their
really don't
weird
have to
comments.
delete a lot of comments ever.
Guys are just so
I really
weird
haven't.
sometimes.
But are the DMs pretty ridiculous though too?
I can't. I have. Look at this.
My
Look at
DMs are pretty tame right now.
Are they pretty tame? I'm gonna start sending you some really inappropriate. You have 99 plus requests.
It's just a bunch
I
of
also mentioned in my
creepers.
story.
Girl.
It's just like creepers.
Mine aren't
I don't even
creepers.
know. Like replying to my
they send
story
me
and
like the eyeballs and they say pretty, but I also like post a lot of workout videos. So
Yeah,
I've got a lot of people are like, get it.
Get it, girl.
I don't know. I feel like from an outsider's perspective, because I've never had to like answer to anyone or like a male friend. I haven't ever had to like censor my stuff. But all my family, like my dad follows me on Snapchat and Instagram. So like anything that I put out there, like some of it is a little bit of douchebag Katie, which is okay. And then like if you're friends with me on Snapchat and you've seen
full
me,
on.
yeah.
you've
Snapchat's a little bit more
you've
risque than
seen-
Instagram for
you've
sure.
seen the savagery that is Katie Kypuros, then you're welcome. But at the same time, like all I have is a singles perspective on it, and like what I could only hope for is that like you just have somebody to hype you up, and as long as like I feel like being authentic again and honest with whoever you're like with, then social media, in my opinion, like shouldn't be a question. I don't think, like from my perspective, I have friends that have had boyfriends in the past that like they need their passwords for everything. Like that's a thing. Like you need your Instagram password, and I'm speaking like for one of my friends. She had to have like her Instagram password, her Snapchat password, her Twitter password, her Facebook password, and vice versa. She wanted it too, right? So she's just as like crazy about it. And for me, like, I don't say anything because it's like their life. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But at the same time, like, for me, like, if you need to have all those passwords, like, we don't need to be together because you clearly don't trust me at all. And, like, even if you do say, like, you trust somebody, like, you don't trust them.
No.
Why do you need passwords? If you guys are in such a good place and you love this person and all this bullshit. But, like, that's not trust.
Well, that's also their fucking life, and that's a conversation we had too. Like, I think the only password that's really acceptable to need or want to share is the password to someone's like home screen on their phone.
Okay, but
Because
so,
if
like,
you've been dating
why,
for,
though?
No, I'm saying
Why?
if you've been dating for a while, it's like it's like a changing the song type of like it's just. Am I
Okay,
gonna have
cool,
you
yeah,
come over?
yeah.
You see what
Change
I'm
the
saying?
song, babe,
But
I need
that being
password.
said, I took a fucking when I was asleep. One of my exes went through not only my text messages and didn't find shit.
If you look for
but went
something,
through
you're gonna
fucking everything. I'm
and you're
talking
gonna
like
find
Instagram
something that
messages
you
from
don't wanna
before we
find.
were together. We've been together for a year. Like went balls deep into my shit, and I was like, "Whoa!" And she was like, "What about this?" And I was like, "That was fucking 9 months ago. What are you doing?"
Why?
And I was like,
Psycho! Red
same
flag!
same person.
Abort.
I'm in the shower one time. No shit. We were super connected, and I was in the shower one time. I go, "Hey, babe." She's like, "What?" I go, "Are you on my phone right now?" And she was like, "No." Low key was on my phone. Fucking admitted it later. I was like, "Get out of!" Like, and it was like stuff. It was there was stuff in there that was moderately inappropriate, but it wasn't like.
Did you give her a reason for her to look through your phone? Like, did you do something or say something, or were you
just like, what are
texting
these
somebody?
girls
No,
doing?
it was there was like there was someone I was like, but it wasn't. It just was like it was. I could find it if I looked in there. It just wasn't anything.
Like, if you look for something, you're going to find something you don't want to find.
We had gotten in a big fight, and I confided in somebody outside of like our entire like world, and it was somebody I trusted, but it was somebody that like triggered her in a certain way, which I get, totally empathize with that. But at the same time, it's like, what is that really like? What harm did that cause? And I'm like, I would never want to go through your shit. Like that would be so. I'm gonna find something that's gonna upset me, even if it doesn't make any sense. Like that's
exactly.
You're looking for something to make you upset.
Happened, I think because she had success in finding someone cheating on her before by going through their stuff, and so it's like. But it's also like, are you just looking for a way to like? You're just looking for leverage now. You just want to win.
Well,
are you
also-
trying to be in control right now?
Yeah,
Because that's what it seems
what-
like.
Well,
That's
it's
exactly
also
what it is.
a sense of untrusting, like, because she's taking what happened in her last relationship and
dude.
she's making it a thing in her current relationship.
Yeah.
Again, like, it's just like, I wouldn't want that to be like the issue, because then your relationship's based on this like social media and this presence. Like, when can you just like
Enjoy the
actually like
moment.
someone and like
Yeah.
not worry about that, because like if the person likes you and you like them, like it shouldn't matter what happened like in the past.
Well, if you're authentically expressing yourself, especially if social media is something like a really important thing to you, it's like it's a fucking game. It's a game. Like if you start to take
Yeah.
that shit serious,
Yeah.
oh my god, you're like, and it can help. It can help in like the podcast world and shit. But man, it's crazy.
exhausting.
Yeah, it is. It's so exhausting. And it's something I'm like, I just can't imagine like putting that much energy into my real life being affected by this thing. But
But
dude,
it's like social media is also a very impersonal thing, but
Yeah.
we make it very personal.
Yeah.
And we're just like this
It defines
group.
us, basically.
We just like our generation, like we want to be so connected, but yet we're like so unconnected at the
Yeah.
exact same time.
yeah.
And like people don't want to talk to each other. They want to download and swipe to the left because that's cooler than like
and they're more comfortable
talking to
do it.
people.
Yeah, but it's like it is very like self-centered in a way. It's like,
It
oh, my
is.
time's too
Yeah.
valuable to
It's
actually invest into a 20-minute conversation with
Yeah.
somebody that I may
completely
never see again,
self-centered.
which is fucking absurd.
But also it's like, how really secure are you in yourself that you have to?
But those people aren't. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
It makes a lot of us though insecure, doesn't
yeah,
it?
a lot of people
What is
are very
it?
insecure.
Social media?
Yeah, because like it's our front, it's our armor.
It is. Ooh,
It's
social
our
media's your
armor.
I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Well,
You get to hide. You don't have to be there for something. You don't have to show up and actually use your words and like make eye contact, because eye contact is sexy. Like paying
Truth.
attention to somebody
Truth.
is
Yeah,
sexy.
listening. Yeah.
Listening to someone is sexy. It's not weird. They do studies when they like make people stand up in front of each other and literally stare at each other from like eye to eye, and people can't do it.
No, it's called
Because
eye
it's-
gazing. It's a thing.
It's because it's completely uncomfortable.
I was saying
Because-
people get uncomfortable.
yeah. And it's just like, why are we not practicing that?
Christine Hassler does a practice. She mixes people up in these love retreats that she did. She did one with Aubrey Marcus, and I wasn't there, but I wanted to do this practice so bad. I was out of town. And so you go there. A lot of people that went there as couples, but that wasn't a requirement. And they split people up with people they didn't know very well. And they put them all at a certain distance, like the same distance away. Like you're going to play Red Rover or some shit. And it's an eye gazing practice. So you just start with just making eye contact. And then on cue, you take a step forward or back based upon what you see in that person's eyes. And it's
Interesting.
fucking crazy. I was like that when they were people were having breakdowns, and like people end up getting like really close to each other, right?
No.
And it's wild, but just
That
if you can
is.
just eye gazing is a really cool thing, especially with somebody you're dating, just to take it into that woo woo space.
Just, like, looking into
sit and
each other's
just
eyes.
look at each other, or look at yourself in the mirror. It's like, but you
Wasn't there-
see,
there's something to be said about that too, like actually being able to sit in a room with somebody and like maybe not even have your phones and like just be comfortable in a room like together
yeah,
with like no distractions. You ever notice that? Like there's like memes and it's like everybody's like on their phone in a picture, like sitting down at the dinner table, and everybody has their fucking phone in front of them.
pro tip, guys, this is a thing.
Take your phone away.
Yeah.
Make it known too, like in a subtle way.
Yeah, just stick it in
Just
your back pocket.
leave it in. If you're going to dinner, like leave it in the car. If you're sitting down at a table, like oh my phone, and like I just like to throw it on the couch. I'd be
That's
like,
what
wait,
yeah.
Then I don't hear the vibrations. So
Yeah.
I just throw it on the couch and I don't hear anything. It's like I'm like, oh yeah, this doesn't need to be here now. I can take 20 minutes
No,
away.
and even for girls
But it's
too.
sexy,
I'm
though.
not even like, don't even like throw the guys under the bus. Like
I'm just
have like
talking
if
about
guys
boys,
are gonna
you
go
know?
hang out with a girl and the girl's on her phone, like pro tip for guys, like she's not paying attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you deserve somebody that's gonna pay attention to you. Like now,
Fucking A.
now,
I agree.
if he's Insta storying you and Snapchatting your cute ass, then keep him. That's
Yeah.
fine. You know, be like, hey, show me out.
I'll like
Yeah.
apologize. I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. Like my mom's texting me, or like I have to do work. But like if I have to get on the phone, like on a date or a dinner or
Yeah.
something, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I'll apologize because like I want to like stay.
it shouldn't just be a
disconnected.
natural state of being at all.
Yeah.
Well, shit, we covered a lot here, guys.
We did.
What did we go through?
Did we?
What are the big tips?
BJ's
big-
to get you wifed up. So girls,
Yeah. So blowjobs are a must. If
practice.
you know.
Go lick your
Embrace
man.
the blowjobs.
Go lick your man tonight.
Yeah, don't just give blowjobs to fuck, and don't just go down on the girls to fuck either.
Don't think
Make
it's
it
a
a
chore. Think of it's part of your life.
Yeah, just be present
Make
with
it a habit. Enjoy it. You'll start enjoying it. Like if you do it forcefully, you're not gonna enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you have to enjoy it. So
Yeah.
like, don't ever like make the man feel bad. Like man,
Yeah.
I've had some
Some pity
funny
blowies.
moments. I've had some funny moments.
What, please share. You gotta share at least one.
Yeah, you have to. You can't just
put
say
that
that.
out there.
I had a really sweet moment. It was like top 3 moments in my whole life. I never laughed so hard, but also like meant a lot, right? So we're like fooling around, me and this guy. And I like to say the word lick for BJ. It's just like, I'd just rather say them like, do you want me to lick you? And so, you know, doing my thing or whatever. And homeboy like stops me, right? I'm like on top of him and he stops me and I'm just like, okay, like trying not to be offended right now. I'm like real confused. And it was like late at night, right? So it was like midnight probably. And he literally, I mean, like both hands on his dick, right? And he's like stopping himself from
I'm coming.
Yeah.
You can say coming on the podcast.
Coming. I'm sorry. And I'm sitting on top of him and I'm just like, okay, can you explain to me like why? I was like, this is not the point. You're actually supposed to finish. And he was like, no. And he's like, literally, he's like, you can't sit on me like that. Turns me on. This is not helping. And I was just like, but I don't get it. This is the point. Like, you're supposed to finish.
Yeah, I just won the game.
Yeah.
And he literally, like, yells out, like, pretend like you're his friend, right? Connor Moore! And, like, stops himself from coming.
You said his friend's name?
Yes.
Okay,
What?
so guys out there,
I
please.
literally...
What did you say? That's so
laughed.
awkward.
I died because I was just like, oh my God, he like stopped himself. And I got up and I went downstairs and I was just like, I'm so confused, like whatever, la la. We go downstairs and I was just like, why did you do that? And he was just like, he's like, let me explain something to you. He was just like, when guys come, he goes, all their energy goes out with them. Like completely. He's just like, I would pass out. He was just, I'd lose all like my energy. He was like, and I enjoy talking to you. So like, I want to stay up later.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh my God. Top 3 moments of my life. But I was just like, but I was just like, when you look down at a dude, like both hands on his dick and like literally screaming.
That's a lot of
I was
control.
just like,
Is that a
was just
strategy? I didn't know you could like squeeze
hey.
the shit out of your dick and like
I
keep
mean,
it from...
he'll be tired for like 10, 20 minutes. He'll get back to it.
don't
Well, that's the
know,
thing about...
dude.
So
It was extreme. It was extreme.
Like we were talking about earlier, like not coming for a week. I realized
so there
that...
you go.
I realized that when I do that and then I do have sex, that I just don't have to have a break in between. I can just come and then just keep going.
Yeah,
and it's like the best thing ever. Because the second time is always the best time anyways.
Longevity.
That's also true.
Yeah. Just get that first one out of the way and then get down to business. It's like the first round is just foreplay, and then you then you get into it.
What do guys call that? Pump and dump?
Pump what?
What?
I don't think what is that a
That's
thing?
like boobs. That's like breast milk.
Boobs?
Like
Pump?
pump and dump.
This is
don't
getting
think
weird.
so.
I like it.
I don't think so.
Oh, blowjobs.
that's-
Yeah, I really am satisfied with how much of this podcast we spent talking about blowjobs.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's important.
Be careful with the balls, though. What's the thought process there? For you
Just
guys?
squeeze.
Just squeeze them a little bit?
I don't
There's a
think-
term.
I
My
mean,
girlfriends have a
ball
term for it, and I
sacks?
always forget what it is.
I don't know. I had
put
a
one
girl.
in
I had a
my
girl be
mouth
like,
before.
I had a girl be like, you don't even like it when I suck on your balls. I'm like, well, here's the thing.
Why did
And I'll
she
put this
do
out there
that?
because,
Ew.
well, I know,
Yeah,
but it's
no,
fun.
I
It's fun
wouldn't know.
sometimes to like tongue them a little bit.
No.
But it was one of those things where it's like, I'm trying to think. You know when you have like a lollipop and you like pull it out of your mouth and like make that pop noise? Like that happened. Completely lost my heart. Not like it was on accident. It happened multiple times. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck, whose balls you were stuck on that liked that.
That's so weird.
But don't do like they would, especially the right ones, like super sensitive. I'm like, what are you trying
Okay,
to
so that's
do?
why I don't think I've ever like even done that because I think
no.
y'all's ball sacks are just like very, very, very sensitive.
Yeah, they are. And you get so it's nice
So,
to
like, why
you
would
you
you
would
wanna
you would like put it
compromise
in your
that?
mouth and like use your tongue, but there's no pulling that needs to happen there.
No, that's
There's
not
no
going in
pulling
my
that
mouth.
needs to. That's not a thing. Someone pretends like that unless they specifically ask for you to like
pulling.
yeah, like
I
suction.
think you were just like with a weird girl.
I don't think so.
No?
No, that was like one of the only weird things. I mean, there was like some weird things, but that was like one of the only ones. But I was like, and then I felt bad because I'm like, I don't even know how to explain what happened. I feel wrong. I'm like, do I not? Is this something I should like? I don't know.
yeah.
I'm like,
What's
fuck,
wrong
maybe
with
I'm
me?
broken. I don't know. My dick does not seem to to enjoy this. All right, one more thing that we're gonna while we're have things in our mouths. So after wrapping the episode, we decided to remove this section of the podcast, but I wanted to let you guys know we easily could have just cut it and not said anything, but I love transparency. You guys know that. So I hope you can respect our guests and respect that that they have lives outside of the podcast world. So we're going to pick up right where this part of the conversation ended and conclude the podcast with that. But I wanted to let you guys know in full transparency, without hiding anything, we had to just take a little snippet out of the show. And thank you for understanding. Here is the rest of the show. Anyways. That's what you said earlier, right?
No, I didn't.
I mean, kind of.
No.
What? Don't make it weird, Katie. Anyways, so the intros will be put on. We'll do this, and then we'll edit them to the front. The magic of radio.
Got it.
And we'll do those after this. But where can people find you guys on the social media that we all judge?
At Kypuros.
How do you spell that?
Kypuros.
Boom.
At AlexGeorge5, as it sounds, on Twitter and Instagram.
If you can't spell, you probably
Alex's
should not follow
Twitter
her.
is hella strong if you're into sports, especially.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Whoop, whoop.
Wait,
Okay.
can you give us can you give us a reel? 15 seconds?
When is this airing?
This will be next Thursday.
So I guess I can make my Super Bowl picks.
Yeah. Your Super Bowl
No,
pick.
because AFC, the championships are this weekend, so I can't.
Come on, give us 15 seconds.
As long as the
Okay.
Patriots don't win, I know they're going to because Tom Brady's a monster. I just want Blake Bortles to at least make it a good game. And then I guess I'm going to go for the Eagles. I think it's going to be Eagles, Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I'd like to see that.
That's your prediction?
Yeah.
What's the score?
I'm always really bad at this. 27-24. Pats.
Think the Patriots can take it home again?
Every team that that has beat Matt Ryan in the playoffs has gone to the Super Bowl. So Philly just beat us.
Ooh.
So we're terrible. I've had a very rough
R.I.P.
sports.
Falcons.
RIP Falcons, RIP Georgia,
The Bulldogs got
R.I.P.
roasted.
RIP all Atlanta teams. It's been very rough for me.
Oh,
Maybe next
sorry.
year.
This is ending on a sad note.
Yeah. It's okay. It's just sports. I'll be
Just
fine.
sports.
I'll be fine.
All right. Well, it gives you plenty of Twitter fodder. So
Yeah,
it's
I hope
good stuff.
so.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Peace
We'll see you
out.
next time. Thanks for hanging out with us again today, guys. If you love the show, make sure to head over to iTunes, give it a 5-star review, leave some kind words, show some love, and make sure to go follow these ladies on Instagram. They have super, super robust Instagram profiles, always putting out awesome content as well. And make sure to check out onit.com/monkey for all your human optimization needs. Hope you guys stay safe out there in the dating game. It's a wild one. And yeah, this is a really fun, weird show, and I'm glad you hung out for it. So have a fucking awesome rest of your day, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.